let's jump back on in. So we got through the first chapter of Harmony. We're still looking for our mother. We've been told to keep looking for her by the Pantheon. We fixed / healed Truth. And then we learned that Truth was shattered by Chaos, although strangely, Truth has not really had their feathers ruffled by this situation. Chaos made a brief visit and then poofed. So that was interesting. So let's see. The three decision options for this chapter: collective win with Bond, clear victory with power, do what needs to be done, no time for other considerations, reveal a hard truth. You will hurt and you will grow and you will learn. Such is the path ahead. We need chaos or truth crystals on this. So it seems like we're going to be running into chaos pretty often in this chapter. Of these two, I'm interested to see what we might get from chaos crystals. I'm certainly thinking between aiming for a collective win or reveal a hard truth. I suppose it's time for us to get into chapter 1 and figure out what's going on. We're missing one of the gods. That's right, we haven't met, I think it's Glamour is their name. We haven't met them yet, so maybe we'll meet them either next chapter or next act, or maybe later in this one. New day without a lead. Let's talk to Nora and Laszlo. What? It's been 5 years since I was last on Atina. Weird to be back. So much has changed. So much is new.
So, what's the plan?
Ah, Laszlo, what are you doing in space? Laszlo, Nora, and I are in the kitchen, a bit phased out and a bit lost. Still half asleep.
I just woke up, Grandpa.
Grandpa. Nora's always called her grandfather that. Of course, Laszlo's always hated that term, but it's stuck.
The plan is to find some breakfast.
You mean get me to make you some breakfast, hmm?
If you're offering.
Ah, Grandpa gonna make us some breakfast scramble? Get some hash browns? They're smiling, but there's desperation in their eyes. We had no idea what to do.
Polly, got any more substantial, less food-oriented ideas, dear?
I'm trying to figure out our next move. We don't know where Ursula is. Not a clue. We need a lead.
We need a miracle.
The entrance bell rings. A couple of short, decisive presses.
You were saying?
Could it be the aspirations? Could it be the help truth mentioned before? Alright. Stranger. The next no barrier was removed by the outcome you chose at the end of the previous act. Outcomes have greater consequences than objectives. So can I pick this one? Conditions. Keeping the search for Ursula a secret. Everyone knows you're looking for Ursula. Did we keep it a secret? Hold on, can I go back and look at the previous chapter? No. Art screen, maybe? No. now I'm just confused. Hey, Dueling Long, welcome on by. As always, with a fantastic arrangement of tails you got there. Is that a new one? Senti. Ooh, that's pretty flowy. Little kib detail. I think we're keeping the search a secret. Okay. No, we aren't. Okay, so that's locked. Gotcha. Someone's here for us. Okay. I walk quickly to the gate. Laszlo and Nora follow in a hurried silence. A handsome man stands at the gates, sure-footed, good posture. He flashes a brisk smile when he sees us.
Good morning.
Okay. Hey, Omar. He's impressive in a way. Attractive, for sure. Laszlo and Nora hover behind me. They've elected me as their leader since I arrived, which feels good somehow.
Can we help you?
I'm Omar. I was hoping we could have a word about Ursula.
What do you know about Ursula, Omar? I steal a quick glance behind me. Laszlo is on guard. Nora's face is a mixture of confusion and hope.
What about her?
I heard about her disappearance. It's the talk of the town.
He quickly describes the energy of Alma last night. Whatever Jade's done, it caused quite a stir.
She didn't show up for our recent appointment, so I wanted to lend a hand.
Recent appointments? He's calm, sure of himself, as if nothing could ever shake him.
Who are you, exactly? I own a bookshop on Liberation Road. Academic stuff, mainly. Well, that's in these days, right? Nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff! Read books!
I specialize in literature about the Oxyon culture.
Oh, okay. The Oxyons, the culture that once stood on this land. World melders, poetic fishermen, the builders of temples, like many cultures around the Mediterranean. Could they be linked to reverie?
Ursula and I shared an interest in that specific topic until her disappearance. Once I heard about that, I had to come here and offer my help. After all, it's about giving back. But the Naiads is a part of this community, right? This place was quite the landmark. Back in the day, of course. A refuge for artists, poets, and lost souls.
Laszlo opens his mouth to speak, but stops himself. He doesn't like how Omar describes the Naiads, but Omar's right. The building's seen better days.
I'm Nora, and
Is Laszlo? And I'm Polly, Ursula's daughter.
Daughter? That's... interesting.
Ah, she never mentioned me, did she?
How so?
I had a sort of dream. Vague and very hard to decipher. The Oxyon word for daughter kept coming up.
Ooh, what is the Oxyon word for daughter, This can't be a coincidence.
Well, nice to meet you, Omar.
Interesting. Interesting. Who is this man? He literally just introduced himself. Polly, come on. Come on. Keep up here. It's hard to focus. The four of us walk towards the building, none of us saying a word. Okay, that is pretty awkward. Wait, didn't he knock on your building? Why do you have to walk to the building? Shouldn't he be right there at the door? What? The lawn is gorgeous. In the summer, the whole community of Alma gathers here. A soup kitchen is often run out of the kitchen. Ursula cooks for a battalion, while Laszlo serves food and helps out along with everyone else who's around.
So, first time here?
It's a good question. Not everyone on the island has visited the Naiads, as famous as it is.
Yeah. I moved to Athena a couple years back. Did my master's on the Oxyon civilization, so obviously I had to come here to finish it.
I smile. I did the exact opposite. Studied here until I could get as far away from Athena as possible.
How did you end up living here?
We've been here since forever. Ursula used all of her money to keep this place afloat.
Now it's just debts and leaky pipes.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. At his daughter's words, Laszlo nods. That draws a smile from Omar. Good. The tension seems to be clearing. Is truth behind Omar's visit?
Perhaps.
Hey, Truth. Their voice in my head feels like like a swarm of bees rushing through my skull. Oh, I like how Truth holds up their hands and then the eye is blinking on the hand.
Consider Omar here a helpful stranger, encountered on an unknown path. One who does not know the way, but is in possession of a map.
All right, Odysseus. A wave of gratitude emanates from the aspiration. Is this their way of thanking me?
Think of this as a resetting of the balance.
This stranger may be the key to finding my mother. Laszlo and Nora seem to realize this too. It looks like they're dying to interrogate him.
So, what do you know about Ursula? Did you notice anything strange about her?
Where's Ursula? Tommy!
Calm down, Grandpa. But did she say anything to you about leaving? About going away? Do you have any leads?
Truth is still there, a presence behind my eyes.
I'd let them ask their questions before letting him into your sanctum. You can never tell with people.
Yeah, how'd that turn out for you, Truth? You know, just letting chaos in, then he just, whoops, broke you into pieces.
But you sent him to us.
More like he washed up on your shores.
My eyes practically roll themselves. I feel the weight of power and bond arrive, and something else. A faint presence I'm not familiar with.
Whatever they might say, truth is relieved, as are we all.
Is that chaos, or is it glamour?
Yes, thankful also.
Whee! I love the little animation effects for Bond.
You're welcome. But right now, I've got a stranger to deal with.
The odd presence remains silent before fading entirely, but I have more pressing matters to attend to. Omar's managed to appease Nora and Laszlo, but I need to make sure we can trust him. Alright, Omar, are you a cop? Now, if you're a cop, you have to tell us. Okay, so 2 simple means several nodes are available, and we have to play that many before we can progress. Alright, so we're only going to be able to pick 2 of these. When he last saw her, their friendship, the Oxyans. Is he her new lover? We'll break the ice asking about the Oxyans, because I'm curious if we can maybe find a bit more information about the Pantheon through him. Something's troubling me. This is the first I've heard about Ursula's interest in Athena's native culture. The Oxyans were hardly ever mentioned when I was growing up.
You say she was interested in the Oxyons. I don't remember her giving them much thought before.
Omar falls silent for a second, his eyes boring into mine.
She might have been a long time ago. In the last few years, she's been more concerned with the here and now.
Still, a few weeks back she came to my bookshop. Said she wanted to know more about the Oxyons. Books, scrolls, treaties. She had a particular interest in their rituals and habits.
Learning about their rituals and habits.
What was she up to?
Setting a trap?
MK has stirred up a lot of stories about the Oxyons. They've done a lot of good work on the ancient ruins around the island.
Sounds like MK's money is coming in handy at last.
They've spent millions digging and excavating. There's a museum being built, exhibitions, galleries.
Well, that's the good part. But they sectioned everything off. They brought in entry fees and time limits, and made sure they get some return on their investment.
Yep. Did sound a bit too perfect.
Ursula told me she'd been given some Oxyon poems a long time ago. Before I was even born, as she liked to say.
That is some suspicious. I'm suspicious. Before he was born?
She was attempting to translate them, modernize them even. It felt like a real passion project. She never shared it with you?
I wonder if it was information from past oracles. Before the pendant. It's like you can't bring up the mention that the pendant is an artifact without there being some other interesting magical items that are going to come to play somehow. What is there between you and my mother, Omar? Are y'all banging? Huh? Just how well did he know my mother?
So you and Ursula were friends?
Omar looks momentarily taken aback, the gleam in his eyes dimming as he ponders the question.
Yes. Yes, I suppose we were. We bonded over our love of the Oxyon culture and... Yes. Friends. But I haven't known her that long. A few months, maybe?
I hear Laszlo cross his arms, a rustle of fabric followed by a barely audible grunt. Dora senses the tension. Laszlo and Ursula have a pretty open relationship, so why the attitude? I think concern. Oh. Oh. Oh my.
Well, I guess it's our lucky day. You might be just the person we've been looking for.
Before I can agree, a peal of laughter rings across the courtyard. No one's smiling, but there's the laughter again, quick and manic. Chaos.
Look at him! For a man who prides himself on being pure-hearted, he's quite the bleeding heart.
I try to ignore the fizzing sensation in the back of my mind.
Oh, you're no fun.
As swiftly as they appeared, the cloud of their presence retreats, their laughter echoing across the sea below. Ursula's last notes. I can't believe she started writing again after all this time. What was she writing about? Are we gonna hear that poem? I can't say that I trust him, but he's our best lead so far. At Laszlo and Nora's nod, I beckon Omar inside.
Here. I found these. I think they might provide a clue. Or a lead. Or... Well, I'm not a detective, but they look relevant. At least.
It passes me a few crumpled up scraps of paper.
Ursula's handwriting.
Yes. It's part of her latest work. She gave them to me a few weeks ago and claimed she had a notebook somewhere containing the rest.
I think I can help you. I know exactly where it is. Wait here, all of you.
You're gonna steal her diary, Laszlo? Jeez. He almost pirouettes on his way out. Nora stifles a laugh, despite the reasons behind our meeting.
You're becoming our lucky charm.
Well, I was just worried about Ursula. It's Good to know I'm not alone.
We'll get to the bottom of this. Now that we have a lead, there's no stopping us.
I can't help but smile at Nora's confidence, but before I can speak, Laszlo practically batters down the door on his way back.
She told me where it was years ago. No secrets between us. But I couldn't bring myself to open it and read it. It's her personal stuff, you know?
Laszlo. Adorable Laszlo. Even with Ursula missing, he still thought it would be wrong to read her notebook. Everybody looks at the damn thing. It's pretty, but opening it feels like a betrayal.
Perfect. I know we might regret this later, but sometimes the unethical thing to do is the right one.
He leads through the notebook. A sorry-looking and surprisingly thin affair. A concerned look darkens his face.
It's filled cover to cover. Too much for one person to read. If I just... there.
Omar slowly unties the leather cord binding the pages together. I've never heard Laszlo make that noise before. A kind of strangled snort.
Nora, was it? Here. 2 sheets. Laszlo, take these 3. I'll take these other 3. And Polly, these are yours.
Fuck it, Polly, take all the rest. He hands out the pages as if they were flyers for the biggest concert of the year.
What have you...
I hope you'll all agree this is no time for unnecessary hesitation.
I mean, if the notebook only has, like, 15 pages, because that's, like, 2 to 3 pages per person. Barely double digit. That's a small notebook. It shouldn't be that hard. Like, what? Did she write in, like, 3-point font? Is it more ink than page? Like, come on, Omar. Maybe you need some glasses, bud. No problem if you need glasses, alright, you know? Eyes do degrade as we get older, and it's perfectly natural.
The sooner we read Ursula's work, the sooner we'll find out if she left any clue to her disappearance.
Laszlo's face is beet red, but he drops his gaze to the pages before him. I take a look at the now homeless sheets in my hands. Interesting turn of phrase. It looks like a foreword, and the opening chapters seem to be about family, the Oxians, and... I squint at the hastily written notes. A diatribe on life, the future, and her anxieties. I never knew. One sentence stands out from the rest. The words sound alien when set against the Ursula I thought I knew. Ooh, music. Music cutting in.
Bound to live in a world where I drown in the memory of you. The rage inside still hasn't burnt away the tears. I'll meet you again in a fraction of time. Someday.
Poetic? Or something more? Who is she talking about? Ooh, we've got some inevitables. Timer, 6 turns. Interesting. We can have a truth or power. Or bond. Ursula's secret relationship. Ursula's secret quest. What's troubling Nora? Pay attention to the augural and don't muck it up. I swear it'll make sense eventually. Ooh. Oh, we have a special chaos option after all the... Interesting. So the only way we can get 2 chaos crystals is if we take the left option. We take the left option. We'll basically be going down the bonded path. Ooh. That's truth crystals. How do we go left? Chaos. That's right. It's not completely unidirectional. I'll also go up the right. Damn it, Dreki. Never mind. So we could get 1 chaos over here. Okay, so we have to get this chaos. And then we can get this chaos. And that'll give us a chaos and a power. Then we'd go through power. I'm leaning more towards the bond or truth on this. But I'm curious if the secret relationship is with one of the aspirations somehow. All right, let's continue on. Shame washes over me for a moment. Should we be doing this? Trawling through my mother's secrets? Omar notices my hesitation and beckons me over with a jerk of his head.
I know. This feels wrong. But you know as well as I do.
That it's the only way. I do. Why did she even give you those pages?
Because I asked. She was writing again. For the first time in a long time, she said. She wanted an unbiased opinion, and I, offered my services.
Yeah, offered your services, huh? Interesting. Interesting.
But you never read them.
She made use of other services.
Once I saw they were poems, no. I thought she was working on some new Oxyon translations. Verse, though, not my bag.
Really? Because, I mean, if the Oxyans are supposed to be a stand-in for Greek mythology, I mean, the epics are a kind of poetic format, if I remember correctly. And they certainly had a lot of stories like that.
So much for the enlightened academic shtick.
My mother's work can get a little heavy sometimes.
I clench my teeth as I push back the memories.
But there's new stuff. From the notebook, it's full of references to Oxyon traditions and rituals. A treasure trove, really. I'm going to go back to it. Why don't you go and check on the others? They look a little lost.
Alright, this note is subject to a timer. Timer will decrease by 1 whenever another note is played. When it hits 0, the condition will be resolved and the barrier will break. Okay. So let's check on Laszlo. So we'll go left first. I go over to check on Laszlo. His eyes are a blur as they could scan Ursula's words. But he looks up as I approach.
Hey, done already?
Not exactly.
Would you look at that? The old man actually came out ahead. I just wrapped these up. Poems, of course. All about family.
Ooh, boy.
Our family?
He takes a big gulp of air. That bad, huh?
I'd say so. Your mother is many things, but subtle, no. There's one about relationships, the push and pull of the family unit. Your mother as a young girl thinking of her future. And the second, that one's about a lost love, one she can only find in dreams, unless the gods will it, whatever that means.
Feeling more and more, she fell in love with one of the aspirations.
Doesn't bother you? Her talking about love like that? Like something out of reach?
Look, your mother's never been a one-man woman. she was always crystal clear about that.
My mother's in an open relationship. Took me a while to understand that it isn't a young people thing. It's a regular thing.
And I love her for that as well. She and Nora
He jerks his head in Nora's general direction.
both helped me to understand that love doesn't bind or restrain.
That's my Laszlo. Grizzly bear on the outside, teddy bear on the inside. Hey, welcome on by, Lyoko.
But in here, she mentions a presence so strong it can be seen in every line, every word.
I've rarely seen such a healthy relationship. Wish I could say the same about me and my mother. My question is, she fell in love with one of the aspirations. We hadn't really been given any indications that she's bi, so like my initial guess is that it would be glamour because that's the only aspiration we haven't seen yet. But it's only mentioned that she's been with other men. Which maybe there's more aspirations than the 6 that we're going to interact with. I wonder if maybe this is going to be less prescriptive than it initially seems. There might be like another aspiration entity that's not tracked on here that'll be relevant to the story. Back up. You didn't think you never heard of it? It's a light novel after a fact. So basically our mother went missing and we're trying to figure out where she went, what happened. In the process of that, when we were going through her things, we sort of fell into another world and we ran into these gods, aspirations. The setting is a little bit 5 minutes in the future. So there's a little bit of advanced technology, but it's mostly familiar, and it's set into vaguely Mediterranean, but it's still kind of a made-up city. They reference Oxians, which is basically as if, like, you know, ancient Greeks. We're still near the beginning of the game, but like we can view, this is like us seeing the future to an extent. So that's why we can like kind of pick things out. But ultimately we have to make decisions. And as we make decisions, we can get various items relating to the gods that somehow power them. Talk about the section on love. He's hiding something. Yeah, I do want to get 2 chaos crystals. I want to see what this does. I can go truth, bond. Oh, but then if I don't take this, that won't open up. We can go through this middle path, which should give us access to all 3, so we should be good to go, actually. Who is she missing? Press Laszlo for more information. This one is Nora shares her worries. What is Nora feeling? Okay, I think we'll go truth here. Take that chaos, block that off. And then over here we'll take truth and chaos. Ooh, we need a bond crystal to do that one. Do we get a bond over here? Okay, so if we do the right path, we get that. Then we can go, or we do the left path. Okay, good. I accidentally went the left path first, because that's the only way this works. Why can't characters in novels just have their parents in their life? Well, considering this game's like the initial content warning that kind of came up on it, I think this game is going to be, it's going to be exploring family relationships pretty in depth. It certainly sounds like there were a lot of complicated things going on, because being so we weren't born with this ability to talk to the gods, to see the future or anything. This is recent. When we came back to this island in search of our mother who went missing recently. And so far, I feel like there's some implications that our mother used to work with the gods. And the gods world is like falling apart sort of thing, because there's a lot of bad juju, bad energy going on in our world, and they get sustenance or meaning or existence from our world. So I think things are going to get pretty serious eventually. All right, so let's go. Wasn't there a third poem? Ah, aye, aye. Ah. Ah, shice. Hang on a second.
Wasn't there a third sheet with another poem?
I don't think so. Just these two.
Omar darts over.
Actually, I think there was a third. Well, unless I dropped it.
Oh, what are you hiding? What are you hiding?
There was definitely a final poem.
Laszlo shifts, pointedly not looking at Omar. Why is he acting so weird?
Oh, but hey, look at these two. This one talks about a bunch of places we've been to on holiday. The Duquesa Islands, the ferry boat to Magdalena.
Oh, is it a poem about Omar? Is it something that Laszlo is uncomfortable with?
And this one about a secret lover. She wouldn't hide that sort of thing from me.
Oh, no.
Yes. That's interesting. Helpful.
Laszlo feeling insecure? I can't help but feel that Laszlo isn't being totally honest with me. Is he hiding something? Ooh. Who did she love and lose? That's the big question for 10 billion points. Any guesses? If there's one thing both poems have in common, it's a sense of longing, of a gaping hole in my mother's heart, and a magnetic connection with whoever left it there. But who could that be? Laszlo? No, he was never lost to her. My father? Absolutely not. Out of the question. Omar? Not after only a few weeks. Someone else then.
You're right there. You sort of zoned out.
We'll see when we get that. Yeah, certainly.
Hey. Yeah. No. I'm fine. You know, reading your mother's innermost thoughts. It's a lot.
Meanwhile, we can enjoy all this beautiful art and animation that goes with the narration.
No secrets in this family, huh?
The VAs are fucking killing it.
For better or worse, is funny.
What is?
I always thought my mother was in love with her art. And that's why we were so far apart. Distant, almost.
A silence. He knows what I'm about to ask. Did she ever talk about me? Oh no.
Did she ever mention you?
Oh boy, That's I have a bad feeling it's gonna be no. She never mentioned that she had a daughter.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Question.
No.
Oh, poor Polly. Oh no. That stings like a bee. A bee the size of a truck.
That doesn't seem to surprise you.
I'm here to find my mother. Because she means something to me. To my family. And to some people on this island.
Even if I apparently didn't mean something to her. You know, that's fine. That's not fine. No problem. No problem. Very normal, functional relationship.
No matter who she actually is when we're together. In the same room.
His smile is warm and full of understanding. He steps away, leading me to my thoughts again.
Nice one. Might have enough time to check on Nora. How about it? Huh?
I keep my distance from chaos. Your presence still feels dangerous.
Come on, Hub Hub. You're here to uncover the truth, not get lost down memory lane.
Apparently Chaos's VA, this is like the second thing that they've done work on. And I gotta say, I feel like they are really knocking it out of the park. I kind of want to make sure to keep tabs on them. At least for Chaos, they got a real nice voice they're throwing for that. Nora looks, well, incensed. She's almost shaking with rage. Or is it fear?
Hey. Everything okay?
No reaction. She's glued to her phone. Her fingers a blur as they tap word after word on the screen. Okay, but this clock, I hate it. I do not like this formatting for a clock. This makes me flinch and I dislike it. The hours on top, the semicolon off to the side, and then the minutes. No, do not give. I did not realize you could make a clock incorrectly. And I've seen a lot of very like silly jokey clocks messing around in VR chat. You can actually, there's like 30 different options of clocks you can set on your little dashboard thing. And some of them are jokes, like putting it on the back. So you have to like flip it around. There's one where it displays it as text. You know, there's one where it makes it so big it like clips out of the dashboard. Amusing. Great. This I hate. This I would almost rather you just drop the semicolon. And then you could have the two lines like that. Like just top bottom. Be much more aesthetically pleasing. Although they seem to have futuristic flip phones, because it looks like one of those phones that's like a single screen that I know some places have made, but it's made with that material that is foldable, so the whole thing is actually a touch screen. Frustrates you more is the 24-hour clock. Where? I don't see the 24-hour clock anywhere on this scene. That's only 11:19. Because it is the morning. So it's not 23:19. The sun is still out. We just woke up. Unless you're saying you don't like 24-hour clocks period dot, in which case we're gonna have to hash it out there, because the 24-hour clock is the superior clock. Like, why have two extra characters indicating AM and PM when you can just have the number be it? You know, you just got to subtract 12. Easy. And that's just like you just don't get familiar with it. Hey, welcome by. How'd you get here? I hope you enjoy your foraging. I'll save you a spot in case y'all swing on by.
Nora?
What?
Uh-oh, she's upset.
Oh, hey. You look a little...
Polly. Wait. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap.
I think one thing that I think would work is we put everyone on the same time zone, because I've had more time zones translation suffering than anything else. Just let it so some people wake up at 06, some people wake up at 12. That's perfectly fine. But that way, 06 in one place means 06 in another place, and we don't have to do all these complicated mathematics of like I'm on the East Coast and they're in West Europe and this person's in Australia, and then we got to convert it all over here to normalize the time, and then oh, but they're in daylight savings. Oh, but this place is in a 30-minute offset, which fuck those places. All right, you're not special. 1 hour increments like the rest of us. All right, stop it. Stop making it even more complicated. It's already bad enough.
Ursula's poems. That good, huh?
Something like that. They're all about her dreams, how vivid they could be. I've read her work before, and this is by far the most literal I've seen her.
I bet the dreams are about the other world.
This, she dreamed a lot about family, us, where we've been, and where we're going.
Oh, but if she had the future sight, ooh.
She says the poems claim that she can predict the future.
Yeah, I think her mother was the previous oracle. As soon as the words are out, she's back on her phone. Her face is flushed, her mouth tight. What's gotten her so frightened? Who you texting, Nora? Is it one of your friends? Nora is typing away like a tornado on her phone. I'm too curious to resist the temptation. She's too focused to notice. I lean towards her to get a clear view of her screen. She's texting someone with great intensity. With great intensity and a lot of words. Like, a lot. Holy shit, that's so many fucking words. Nora, what's your words per minute? Bloody hell.
Who are you texting?
What? Holly, you scared the crap out of me. What did you do that for? Sneaking around like that?
Could have stomped up and slapped you on the back of the head and you wouldn't have noticed. Well, come on.
Is it a boyfriend? A girlfriend?
No one. Just a friend. Hey, cut it out.
I crane my neck for a better look, and she angles the screen away from me. Wait a minute, is that...
Jade?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Oh, they have like a head pats.
You know, text her. But now I'm not so sure.
Text her an entire novel, maybe.
Didn't know you two were text level friendly. That's so cool. What are you talking about?
Oh, just talking about stuff.
Nothing.
She did sense. Huh?
The poems, if you must know, they're all about Ursula's dreams, and there's a line about that stuff, egregor and predicting the future. I thought it might help with Jade's work, but I don't know. They're just poems.
I feel my mouth pull up into a grin. It's certainly not the only reason she was texting Jade. Nora sees my face and blushes crimson.
I think it's a good idea. Texting her. Every little bit helps.
You think so?
I do. Oh, but be sure to tell Omar too. This is right up his alley.
The whooshing sensation almost knocks me off my feet. Off my feel? Chaos.
Please, Polly dear, leave Omar out of this. He'll figure it all out eventually. Now, Jade and Nora. That's where the fun's at. I want to know more about this burgeoning friendship we've got on our hands. And by the look on your face, I'm not the only one.
I step back, giving Nora a bit more privacy.